let's start. So the other day we have completed sales tax, right? Then you look at service tax. The concept for service tax is similar to sales tax, right? You have chargeable person, right? Chargeable person who sell taxable services. I said not all services are taxable, right? Only taxable services are subject to service tax. And again, the customers, not all customers are subject to service tax, need to pay service tax, yeah? So we have chargeable customers or exempted customer, yeah? Okay, similar to sales tax, exported services are not subject to service tax, alright? Of course, the rationale is because we want the price of our taxable goods or services to be more competitive in the global market. So therefore, the services that is exported, even though it's taxable, the type of product or services that we provide, it's fall under the taxable category, but once it's exported, all right, no service tax will be imposed, all right? Okay, so we will look at what other exempted customers apart from customers from overseas, yeah? Okay, then also we look at the chargeable person comprised of licensed or unlicensed, or in other words we call registered person or unregistered or non-registered person. So similar to sales tax, it depends on the turnover threshold, 12 months turnover threshold, all right, of the service provided. Okay, for sales tax, we look at the threshold of 500,000, clear now, all right? But for services, there are three thresholds that we will look at, all right? Looking at three groups of service provider. Turnover, if it's above zero means what? Above zero means no threshold, basically, right? If you sell the taxable item, right, the services which are taxable, you have to charge already, all right? Zero threshold, all right? Okay, so what type of services, all right, that need to be charged by a service provider where turnover is zero threshold, right? We look at it later. 500,000, there's another group which threshold is 500,000, and then we have another group which is 1.5 million, huh? Right, we'll look at it later. So there are three groups altogether, huh? All right, if the chargeable persons were required to charge service tax, then again the person have to remit the service tax to RMCD, according to the deadlines. So the timeline is the same as the sales tax, right? Where we go by taxable period, yeah, 2 months, all right, of taxable period. Right, so service tax is governed by Service Tax Act 2018. So again, this is version 2, right? Service tax 2.0, effective 1st September 2018, right? Collected by the same department, RMCD, right? I'm sure last week you have also heard some new ministers talks about revival of the GST. I'm not sure whether you got the news or not, right? So, well, whatever it is, no worry, for exam purpose, still SST, all right? Okay. Because the questions already set earlier and it is now being moderated in UK, right? So we can't, whatever it is, if they change it back to GST, nothing can be, all right, can help. So we'll still go by SST, Okay, so just now we said, who needs to charge service tax, right? Chargeable person, so provider of taxable services in Malaysia. In Malaysia, that's why I say exported services is not taxable, yeah? So only those services provided in Malaysia and only taxable services, all right, are chargeable to service tax. Again, this provider, it's not everybody. It depends on whether the provider is licensed or non-licensed. That's why we look at the 12 months turnover threshold. Okay, so for provider of taxable services, we still look at who is the provider. Is the provider registered or not registered? Yeah. Okay, another group of chargeable person will be, this person need to pay service tax when the person imports service tax from overseas. So importer of taxable services. So long you are importer of taxable services, you have to pay already, regardless of what industries you are in, alright, regardless of turnover. Follow? The turnover threshold, it only applies to this provider of taxable service. Yeah? If you are importer, similar to the importer of sales tax, taxable goods, so long you import, whether it's goods or services which is taxable, you have to pay the sales or service tax already. Yeah? Alright, regardless of the turnover amount. Alright, so then we look at what are the taxable services. So these are some of the taxable services. Okay, so generally the 500,000 of threshold for 12 months turnover applies to all except for, okay, I'll just give you this, food and beverage services, F&B. Yeah? So this group of chargeable person, the 12 months threshold is 1.5 million. Remember just now we have three groups, 0, 500,000 and 1.5 million. Alright, the chargeable person which subject to 1.5 million of 12 months turnover threshold is those involved in F&B. Yeah? Alright. Then most of them will be subject to 500,000. Alright. Okay. Then the other one, remember the 0 threshold. Alright. So what are the type of taxable services whereby you have to pay regardless of who is the provider? Credit card or charge card, direct debit card or credit card. So I think if you use credit card, right, every year, I don't know whether you pay or your parents pay, you use your own card. I think your parents, you are using your parents' card, maybe you don't pay it. So every year there will be a service tax, 25 ringgit charge on that credit card, if you are aware of it. Alright, as well as your direct debit card. So provision of credit card or charge card, the provider, alright, will have to charge the 25 ringgit. Alright, regardless whether this is a bigger bank or smaller bank, because what the threshold is 0 means what? So long the customers are using the credit card or charge card, the provider have to charge 25 ringgit already. Alright, yeah. So these are the two specially provided threshold. F&B 1.5 million, credit or charge card 0 threshold, the rest falls under 500,000 threshold. So generally this is how you differentiate the three groups. Alright. So therefore sometimes when you say you book a hotel, then you may have to pay service tax. But again, not hotel that you book, you have to pay service tax. Can I not? Why? If you are talking about chargeable person, right? Hotel also there are two groups. Licensed, right? Licensed chargeable person or non-licensed person. Only a licensed person can charge. Who are the licensed hotel operator? The one with turnover, 12 months turnover, more than 500,000. So therefore, if let's say you book hotel, let's say through bigger group of hotel, let's say Royal Chulang, yeah, right? Shangri-La, of course, you have to pay service tax, right? But if you book hotel, let's say, motel, smaller, right, smaller scale, maybe that operator's 12 months turnover have not reached 500,000, cannot. So they cannot charge service tax. So it depends, yeah. So if you want to save money, don't want to pay service tax, 6%, then you book hotel, all right, from that small hotel operators, all right, yeah, 3-star hotel, 2-star, right, yeah, all right. So this is the taxable services and taxable person. All right. So as I said, apart from exported services which do not attract service tax, so services that is performed in Labuan, Langkawi and Tioman are also not subject to service tax. So similar to sales tax is also exempted, yeah, right? Okay. So the rate is 6%, yeah, for all the goods, yeah. So this 6% will be given in the exam paper. You don't have to memorize, huh? All right. So then the provision for the credit card, as mentioned just now, a fixed rate is charged. A fixed rate of service tax is charged, which is 25. Every year, will be charged on every year, right? For upon issuance of principal or supplementary card. So long that, all right, normally it's issued by the bank, right? So long the bank issued the credit card to the customers, they have to charge already, and on a yearly basis, if the customers continue to use the service of this credit card, yeah, right? Okay. So whether it's from a bigger scale of bank or smaller bank, so long it's credit card, then you still have to pay the 25, yeah. So that's for the taxable services. So in terms of the payment, we are done with service tax. The other concepts are similar to sales tax. Like for example, if we talk about, right, so we are done on this. So assuming we are talking about service tax administrations, it follows the sales tax concept. So all the service tax will be accumulated, right, from invoices issued during the taxable period. Right, so these are the taxable period. Then due date for payment is the same as sales tax. So it operates, all right, the same manner as sales tax. Yeah, so therefore, I didn't like repeat the notes. So you follow this concept. Yeah, okay. Right. Of course, the rate's 6%. You don't have to follow. Then of course the late payment penalty same with sales tax, right? Penalty as well, right? So for the taxable period, all right, the deadline for submissions of the service tax and the late payment penalty, you follow sales tax mechanism. They are the same, right? Okay, let's go through one exercise. Last exercise, right, of the topic before we move on to investment incentive. Just go through this. If you look at this question, is ABC Sdn Bhd a licensed chargeable person or not? As of the latest year end, 31st January 2020, is the company a licensed chargeable person? On the 31st, the last financial year end just ended on 31st January 2020. Is it licensed? Or is it a registered person? Yes or not? No, right? Why not? Because if you look at the second sentence, right? All its products are exported to Indonesia. That means all along, right? This company, which manufactures a luxury watch, which is a taxable goods, the products are exported to Indonesia. Exported, as we know, it doesn't attract sales tax, correct or not? So they mean to say this company have not all along, all right, it's not a registered person, correct or not? Right? Because all the goods are sold overseas. Yeah. Okay. So then, if you look at on 15th of March, so after that year ends over, it sold goods to Excel Sendirian Berhad. So you see the word Excel Sendirian Berhad, yeah, as follows here. Actual sales made to Excel Sendirian Berhad outlets, PJ 100,000, Penang 25, JB 55. So these three sales which was made on the 15th of March is local sales, correct or not? Right? So local sales. So is it attract sales tax? Does it attract sales tax? So you have to see, because this company all along are not registered person, cannot. So the person have to, if let's say the company have reached the threshold, alright, yeah, in terms of the 12 months turnover threshold, then the company may need to register, clear now, alright. So in the month of March, let's look at 15th of March 2020, where the actual sales which took place, alright. If you use the historical method, what is historic? Remember we talk about the threshold, whether the person need to register or not. We go by two methods, right? Historical method or future method, right? So what's the historical method? We look at current month plus past 11 months, right? So current month sales locally, this is the amount. Past 11 months, was there any taxable goods? Sales of taxable goods? No, right? Because all are being exported, correct or not? So using the historical method, is the company need to register as chargeable person. And then you look at the total sales made in 15th of March. How much? 180,000, correct or not? So has it reached the threshold for registration purpose? Yes or not? Not yet, right? Because the threshold is how much? 500,000. Yeah. So not yet. So using the historical method, not yet. Yeah. And then we go to the second method, using future method. Right? Future method means look at current month plus the coming or the following 11 months. Correct or not? All right. So if you go back to your two methods that we talk about, right? So historical method, all right, using current month plus preceding 11 months. So using this method, right, not eligible, right? Then we look at second method, future method. Future method is taking current month plus following 11 months, right? So based on this question, okay, let's get you to think a bit. Okay, so based on future method, is the person reached the threshold already? Then you look at, okay, so now current month, 15th of March, actual sales have been made, right? And then given the question that on 5th April 2020, the company entered into a contract with another company, right? Excel Sendirian Berhad, right? Okay, and these are the contracted value, right? And that means these are the expected sales in the coming months. So when you use future method, will the company be a registered person or not? So let's look at, this is current month, then look at the subsequent month, April. So you add up all the sales, these are all taxable goods, and if you look at it, it is sold locally. Alright, the three places which are local, right? Yeah, so therefore you add up. Has it reached 500,000? If you take March and April into consideration? Yes or not? So long you calculate, you total up the sales more than 500,000, more than that threshold, then the person will need to register already. Yeah. So when you take into account April expected sales, has it reached 500,000? Yes, right? And so you add up all this value here, it will give you 510,000, if not mistaken, you check, you add it, yeah? So means it already above 500,000, correct not? Then what is the registrations, responsibilities and sales tax, payment of sales tax responsibilities? So go back to the concept. When should ABC Sejahtera Berhad register? By last day of the following month, right? So when is the last day? By means the deadline is last day of the following month. Following month means May, right? Yeah. So when should ABC Sejahtera Berhad charge sales tax? The following month after the registrations, in the month of June, yeah, right? So if you, right, so this is as what we discussed. So the threshold 500,000 using the future method, right, not the historical, yeah, in this case, achieved in the month of April. So you add up, it should give you about 110, so more than 500, yeah. So register with RMCD by when? The last day, right? 31st of May, right? So April is where the threshold achieved. So last day of the following month, so 31st May. So when should the company charge sales tax? 1st June 2020. Okay, right. So this is how we use the future method. Alright. Similarly, if you go back to the historical method, also same thing. We look back at the 11 current months plus the past 11 months. In which month that the company has reached that 500K threshold. So similarly, if you want to apply for service tax, also same thing. Alright, 500,000, the same way we apply. Alright. Okay. Any question? Okay, any question? No? Yeah, so we'll look at the next topic.